So this lecture is going to help you in understanding the topics cluster computing, grid computing, and cloud computing. So let's see what it all includes. Firstly, we will understand and we will see the concept of cluster computing. Now see, cluster computing is what? As the name suggests, cluster. Cluster means what? It is a group, right? Group of nodes. When we are talking about cluster computing, so obviously we are talking about the cluster of computers, cluster of nodes. So a group of nodes or a group of computers or servers, right? So we define, as in definition, I'm just telling you, cluster computing is a collection of tightly or loosely connected servers and other resources that act like a single system and high availability, and in some cases load balancing and parallel processing. Now what it is, cluster computing is what? It is basically a collection of tightly or loosely connected servers and other resources which are going to work on a single task. They will work for a single goal. They are not going to work for different problems. All these, let's say these are 4 servers. So all these 4 servers are going to work on a single task. So they will be working as a single entity for the high availability of processing or data, or it can be anything. So let's understand what it is. Let's see. Basically, I'm just taking an example. Earlier, what happened? Let's say we have what? We have a server and we are hosting a site, right? So what have we? We have a standard server. Just ignore this particular part. We have a standard server in which we have what? We have power supply, we have internal LAN, we have disk for storage, and we have an operating system. And this is the network switch. With the help of this particular IP address, these particular are the clients, and these particular clients can, access to the website. They can access this particular server. Now, there is a problem. What if this particular power supply goes down? Our network will be, or our site will be down. Our server will be down. That is not good for us. Other possibility, this particular hard disk, this particular disk crashes. Again, our server will be down. That is again not good for our performance, right? So what should we do? The possible solution is, what we do actually is we add on to second power supply option, right? Let's say if one fails, the other one can be up and our server will be working. Same way, we have disk. If one disk goes down, we have the other one, right? And there is no possibility of getting down for the server, and the clients can access our server. Now, again, what happens? There is possibility, or there's an option of disk, there's an option of LAN, there's an option of power supply, but we only have one operating system. What if something goes wrong with this particular operating system? Now what? The server will be completely down, whether we are having backup for disk, whether we are having backup for the supply. But if we do not have this particular operating system working, then this complete server will go down and the clients cannot access our server. Now, for this particular reason, providing a solution to this, what it is, we are having the point of cluster computing. Now, how it works? See, just focus on this particular point. Let's say we have this particular server. We have added one more server to it, right? We have created a cluster. We have added one more server, let's say server B, with the IP address this. So same way, just the replica of it, server B will be working. Let's say if server A goes down, because it has operating system also. right? So in this case, let's say server A operating system is not working, something happens, then the clients can access this particular IP address and this particular server will be working and it will be up. It will not show that the server is down, and the clients can easily access without knowing that server A or server B, which server is working. For them, this is just that the server is working and they are easily accessing the data, right? So this is how we are creating the clusters. Now in this particular concept, what we are doing, we are just adding a group of computers or the group of servers. We are creating a group of servers which are working for a single task. Now these particular two servers are working for a single task only. They're not working for two different problems. They're working for one same problem, right? So this is how the cluster computing works. We can add more supercomputers, we can add more servers to it and create a supercomputer, right? So this is how the cluster computing works, and this is an example. Now let's take the real world examples for cluster computing. We have the IBM company introduced the Roadrunner. This is the name of the computer created by the supercomputer created by the IBM company, and this was created for Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, and this is the fastest supercomputer. Now this particular computer has been again become obsolete because that was introduced in June 2008, and it became obsolete I think in 2018 or somewhere around that, and it is being again enhanced for its performance. So these are the details. You can just explore this particular more about it. So this is an example of cluster computing. Now moving to the next one, that is called as grid computing. We have grid computing, right? So grid computing is what? It is a type of distributed computing that combines the resources of interconnected groups of several independent computers that communicate through the use of network in a way that makes them look and act like a single computing entity that can be known as virtual supercomputer. Now, see, what happens is we move forward with the cluster computing and we move to the grid computing. I'm just highlighting these particular words. These are forming the basic concept for the grid computing. That means what we are doing, it is a type of distributed computing in which what we are doing, we are not connecting the computers, we are combining the resources. So that is why I'm highlighting the point. We are combining the resources with the help of a network, and we can communicate over this network, and all these resources when combined together, they can form a virtual supercomputer, right? So what happens, I'm just taking an example. When I talk about grid computing, let's say what happens, there is a server of 1 terabyte, right? And you are working on a particular problem that needs 100 terabyte of storage space, right? So what will happen? You cannot work, but what you can do is you can create grid computing. You can have multiple servers which have more memory, and you can add those particular memory of servers to this particular grid computing. That means if you are adding these 3 servers of 100 terabyte, 10 terabyte, let's say 100 terabyte and 100 terabyte. So if you are having multiple servers which are combined for the resources, here we are talking about the memory. So what you can do, you can work for a single problem. Now you are sitting on this particular system, computer and server, you are solving a problem where the data is being stored at multiple places globally, right, on different servers. So you are doing what? You are sharing, you are combining the resources together to communicate with each other over a network. And what is done? This particular computer is working as a supercomputer because it has multiple terabytes of memory for solving a particular problem. But actually this particular memory is not with this server. It is globally placed in different places over the servers. So similarly, this is just an example of memory. It can be using the processor. It can have another examples of different resources. So this is how we have made a simple computer, a supercomputer. That is why we are using a word virtual, because we are not having this particular supercomputer as a physical supercomputer, but it is having the combined resources of different servers, and it is solving a particular problem as a supercomputer. So that is why it is called as the virtual supercomputer. So each computing task is broken down into smaller pieces and distributed throughout the available computing resources for execution. These pieces are processed in parallel, and as a result, completion is achieved in a smaller amount of time. So here we can do what? You can achieve the result in small amount of time, and you can work a complex problem over a simple computer, which is not a very supercomputer. You can make a simple computer to a virtual supercomputer. So this is how the grid computing works. This is the user. This is the management organization of grid. This is the administrator, and these are the different resources which are being used here. You are seeing the CPU and data sources, CPU, storage sources, and all are being combined. So this particular user can use the CPU of this, and it can enhance the processing speed of this particular system, and this particular can act as a virtual supercomputer. Right? We have an example. I have taken a live example of grid computing, that is CN Grid, that is China National Grid. This is a major project in high-tech research development program of China, and it has created its grid for the new generation for test bed of information infrastructure aggregation, high performance computing, and transaction processing capabilities. So you can explore other grid computing examples also. I've just taken an example here. Lastly, cloud computing. Cloud computing is a type of computing that relies on sharing of computer resources rather than having a local servers or personal devices for handling applications. It is a business model, while grid computing is not a business model. So see the major difference between these two. It is used as a service. So it is just a renting of services, and it is working as a business model. That means we are paying for this particular renting service, while in grid computer, we are not working as a business model. We are not paying for that particular model, right? So this is all with the different types of computing, that is cluster computing, grid computing, and cloud computing. I hope you must have understood this. Thank you.